and get started here. And we are recording. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of virtual ATSV, the second edition. This is our 4th year in ATS. We're coming to you from a virtual stage due to recent world events, but I want to thank all of our panelists this morning. Today, we will be talking about Made in the Ukraine. We have representatives from the CUTIS project, OLTEKS, and the TPP, excuse me. I'd like to introduce one of our moderators this morning to introduce the panel. He's been with us for a couple of years at the show. His name is Sal Khokhar. Sal, I want you to go ahead and introduce the panelists for us.
Sure. Thanks, Jason. Very pleased to be with this panel here. Olga, who is the head of CUTIS, has been kind enough to organize this panel for us and bring on board a diverse group of speakers who are from Ukraine, focused on brand building, as well as manufacturing and supplying, as well as in the lingerie, as well as footwear and home textiles. Olga, I'll let you run the panel, and if I have some questions in between, I'll drive that process, and I'll keep an eye out for guests that may have questions. Go ahead, Olga.
Thank you, Sal. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's a great pleasure to be here. And good morning and good day to everyone, dear guests and dear panelists. Thank you for investing your time into the meeting with us on this Made in Ukraine panel. My name is Olga Shtepa again, and I'm a Ukrainian moderator of the panel today and the coordinator of the CUTIS project in Ukraine. Taking this opportunity, I would like to thank the government of Canada for its generous help and support of Ukrainian small and medium companies through the Canada-Ukraine Trade and Investment Support Project. I also want to warmly welcome our colleagues, partners, and supporters. Your presence here today reflects our shared priority to advance the global project's agenda internationally. Our special thanks to the organizers, and in particular to John Banker, who led the organization of this trade show with expertise, skills, creativity, and the touching enthusiasm, bringing it from its beginning. And thank you for making this truly great international show and the Made in Ukraine panel happen. It's with great pleasure that I welcome all of you to this panel session on Made in Ukraine. The panel will allow us to underscore the increasing economic dynamism of the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement and the increasing role of Ukraine as a significant player in the international marketplace. International trade has a vital role in economic development since it provides employment, contributes to the transfer of technology, and is an important source of foreign exchange needed for imports of capital and intermediate goods. Therefore, addressing these issues becomes critical not only for strengthening the linkages between Ukraine and Canada, but also for achievements of mutually beneficial sustainable development. And leading organization and channel for business, trade, and investment between Canada and Ukraine is the Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce. For the last 27 years, the CUCC was promoting and facilitating trade and investment between two countries. And it's also the platform for networking, communication, and learning. And it's the tool for providing for respected voice to governments and agencies. And we have the pleasure to present to you the Managing Director of the CUCC, Ms. Turos, to share her view on the future development of Canada-Ukraine trade relations. Pani Emma, the mic is yours.
Emma, you're on mute.
Sorry, technique. And Olga, thank you very much for this welcoming introduction. And it's really great honor to speak to you all now. Let me share my screen because I'd like to update our international guests a little bit about the what we call light industry of Ukraine, and of course emphasize on free trade agreements and their role in cooperation between our country and other countries. So let me try to share my screen. Here we are. And just let's start presentation. Yeah, perfect. Of course, I would like to thank once again to Apparel Textile Sourcing Show for long-term cooperation, because this is not our first featuring at this show. And our special thanks to Mr. John Banker for his dedication and for this excellent opportunity to speak to you all now, and also participate together with our excellent companies. Just let's continue with self-introduction. It's not so modest, but I'd love to say a few more words about our organization. Yes, we are still 28 years from now. We are a key Canadian non-governmental organization facilitating trade and investment between our countries, with over 230 members for now in both countries. We have offices in Canada and Ukraine. And together with the Conference Board of Canada, we are partnering organization. We work on this excellent governmental CUTIS project, which is well known in Ukraine, and which showed just very good results. Beyond this, Canada-Ukraine Chamber of Commerce has international experience, sound international experience with the European Union, with the United States, and we cooperate with the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as its subsidiaries like regional chambers of commerce and local authorities, municipalities, government of Ukraine, of course, ministries, and members of international community in Ukraine. We are a very active member of International Council of Bilateral Associations and Chambers, ICBAC. Also, we work with the industrial associations, Ukrelectron, for our case, like Apparel and Footwear, Association of Footwear Producers, and many other organizations. I will proceed with the short introduction of what we call light industry of Ukraine. So it has 17 sub-industries, but in general it represents apparel, textile, footwear of production of Ukraine. According to statistics, last year in 2019, we had about 2,500 of enterprises in Ukraine, which worked in textile, about 510 companies with roughly 16,000 of employees. Apparel is the largest group here, with about 1,700 companies with over 49,000 of employees, and leather and footwear, 330 companies with 22,500 of employees. Of course, not all of them are active right now, but hopefully many of them will recover after the pandemic. In 2019, volume of production was distributed as follows. Just you see the pie. 36.3% were produced by our apparel companies, while 38.3% of the whole production by textile companies, and footwear producers are responsible for 25.3% of this production. I would like to mention and give you some statistics, which is not the last, but which can illustrate the influence of the free trade agreements in this sector. Share of the light industry is growing, and just few numbers. In 2016, in the beginning of the year, the free trade agreement with the European Union came into force. And in 2017, our apparel, textile, and footwear industry celebrated a 43% increase in export sales. as well as 24% increase of the capital investment. The annual growth of this industry just within the last few years was at the level of 5 or 6%. So distribution by regions. Let's look at the map of Ukraine. This distribution by regions is uneven. We have a very strong cluster in Western Ukraine. Strong clusters are in Kyiv, Zhytomyr, this is central Ukraine, and eastern Ukraine represented by Kharkiv and Dnipro. Just if you see my arrow, so this is Kharkiv and Dnipro regions. But I would like to mention about few cities which are located around Kyiv, and say that we have very strong companies in Chernihiv region, and they are working on strengthening of their apparel and textile cluster. We have very strong footwear production in Zhytomyr and region. Strong companies, just which can be called large in Vinnytsia, and smaller companies but very interesting in Khmelnytsky and Chernivtsi region, with the production of bridal and evening dresses with where a lot of handwork is used. So we also had good textile production in Kherson and Odessa regions, but they are less active right now. Just let me proceed with this structure of this sector, ownership. Over 99% of companies are private, and large companies, just according to our classification, these are 500 employees and above. Just there are few dozens of them, and less than 10% of the total number. The lion's share of our companies in apparel industry are small, up to 15 or 20 employees, and depending on volume of production in year and the orders, they may move from small to medium level. Statistics is not accurate, so actually I could hardly find accurate figures. That's why I compared just few estimations, and I think that we can say that overall production is about 3 billion US dollar, American dollars a year, with the annual growth of the sector at the level of 5%. I don't know what happened this year, but just hopefully this we will keep growing. As I mentioned, most of the companies are small and focused on the local market. That's why their sales are concentrated in their regions, even at bazaar level, small shops. That's why a lot of industry is in shadow. Just not because they work illegally, but because it's difficult to calculate their sales. And of course, this industry, as everywhere, is very, very flexible. In my city, I live in Kyiv. Many companies close their production downtown and move to smaller towns and cities to have access to cheaper labor and rent, and to optimize their costs. Why Ukraine? Just Ukraine is not as big players, let's say our tycoons like China, Turkey, and maybe other countries, but Ukraine is lucky because of geography. Because we have free trade agreements with first CAFTA, Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement. It's because our core activity, but also we have a free trade agreement with the European Union, and we have diversified export to over 150 countries. So capacity building of our companies is going on. and 83% of exported of all the exported products go to the European Union, and of them, Germany is one of the main our partners. 80% of our materials are imported, and main suppliers are China and Turkey. So our country and our industry is still depends on imported raw material. So I wouldn't mention about all this material, but I use caps lock to type equipment and technology, and of course we need modernization, and there is a huge opportunity for all of us. Just pay attention when you start doing business in Ukraine or with Ukraine. So pay attention that most of our companies are small and medium companies, and sometimes communication may be an issue. They have a shortage of English-speaking personnel and information. Orders usually are not so large in the beginning, and companies unfortunately can't get a good price for material. So they just give you, if you have ordered a few hundreds of pieces, of course you can't get wholesale price for material, textile, fabric, yarn, etc. You have terms of payment. Not all companies can pay in advance. The rare solutions, of course, you venture distribution in Ukraine and involve international and local experts, industrial associations, clusters, just work locally, and use experience of international technical support projects like our project. You can say that Canada-Ukraine Trade Investment Support has produced a huge amount of manuals, a lot of information, methodology. And of course, we are in touch with thousands of companies, so like a chamber of commerce, and of course, like a project. Olga and I visited all trade shows to select capable companies and met with a few hundred companies in person, just to select those who are interested and who can export to Canada. And of course, there are powerful projects represented by states, European Union, OECD, and of course, please use every opportunity to meet with us, like this excellent show. I have heard from my colleagues that they are much excited by this excellent show. And I have to pass the baton to my colleague Olga, who will tell you a little bit more about our experience with the apparel production, footwear, and maybe just a little bit furniture. Olga, thank you so much for just for giving me the floor, and thank you all for attention. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Amma. Yes, stop sharing, and I will continue. I would like just to add some small historical aspect to your presentation on Canada-Ukraine business relations and its recent development. Just let me share my screen. Just a second. The countries established, I mean, Canada and Ukraine, they established diplomatic relationship in 1992, and they signed the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement, CUFTA, in 2016, which came into force on the August 1st of 2017. The agreement opened new opportunities to the businesses in both countries, as it provided zero percent duties for 98% of Ukrainian goods exported into Canada, and much that's held on at 19 chapters on over 800 pages. So you can see these documents on the picture, which is really impressive. With some exceptions, Ukrainian industrial goods have 0 duties. While exporting to Canada. Same situation with access from Canada to Ukrainian market. It also has some exceptions and transitional periods for some groups of goods. The agreement regulates the non-tariff technical barriers to trade as well, because the differences in Canadian and Ukrainian standards on products quality and safety requirements, labeling and certification may become a source of unjustified restraints for free trade. Within the CUFTA, Ukraine and Canada confirmed their commitments regarding the agreement's provisions on World Trade Organization related technical barriers to trade policy. It also includes a transparent mechanism for development and application of technical regulations, as well as the procedures to evaluate compliance. The agreement also ensures provisions for information exchange among the countries with the purpose for the parties to better understand legislative requirements and potential problems for exporters and importers. Certainly, this short review does not disclose all the nuances of the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement. CUTIS project designed a step-by-step guide, which includes the detailed information about all aspects of export to Canada. CUTIS project was created to support Ukrainian export to Canada through the program You Can Export. And it focuses on 5 sectors: furniture, ICT, confectionery, apparel, and footwear. The project is a 5-year Canadian Development Assistance Initiative designed to lower poverty in Ukraine through increasing exports from Ukraine to Canada and investments from Canada to Ukraine. And thanks to the project, we are happy to present the best of the best Ukrainian producers here today on this international virtual show. Just a couple words about Ukrainian apparel sector. Located at the edge of Eastern Europe, Ukraine has a long history as a hub for garment manufacturing. In recent years, large well-known brands like Hugo Boss, Esprit, Adidas, C&A, Zara, New Look, Marks & Spencer, and others are produced in Ukraine. The low production costs, experienced workforce, low order quantities, and advanced factories have made Ukraine a rising destination for apparel manufacturing. And I would like to present famous Ukrainian apparel producer, OLTEKS company, and its expert manager, Larisa Ter-Minasyan, to tell us a little bit more about the Ukrainian apparel leaders. Larisa, please, floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Larisa. I'm an export manager of OLTEKS company, one of the leading Ukrainian manufacturers of outerwear for about 20 years. And I'd like briefly to show my presentation about our company and to get you acquainted with us. So let me share my screen. And show you my presentation. I hope you see it. We are for about 20 years on the market.
Larisa, sorry, we don't see it.
I'm sorry. And now?
Yes, it's coming.
Okay, great. Okay, great. The company headquarters located in Kiev and has 3 garment factories, sewing factories, and one hosiery factory. I'm sorry, I think I have some connection issues or maybe some technical issues because my presentation doesn't work. Oh, yeah. So we have the main office located in Kiev, and we have two garment factories and one hosiery factory. The company is a member of Professional Business Association, Ukrainian Association of Enterprises of Textile and Leather Industry, and also we are a member of Ukrainian Defense and Security Industry because we work in the direction also of military and uniform wear. So our production capacities allows to produce 15,000 coats per month, and the same quantity of trenches and jackets monthly. Our company has a certificate of quality management system, ISO 9001 2015, and also for the last few years we made a renovation and and installed new sewing equipment and special machines for our production. Production areas were repaired and totally equipped according to fire security and labor safety. OLTEKS is also a social responsible company that was approved with high score audit results of social corporate social responsibility in 2019. So OLTEKS produce garments from many famous brands such as United Colors of Benetton, Zadig and Voltaire, Orsay, Promote, Gary Weber, and others. Our main assortment is wool coats, jackets, trenches, raincoats, blazers. Also, one of our factory, as I already said, produce socks, military socks, and casual socks for daily use. I guess it's briefly information about our company, and if you have maybe some questions, please you can ask me. And I also invite you to visit us on the booth of Made in Ukraine.
Thank you, Larisa. Thank you. We have a question for you. What is the OLTEKS strategy for nearest few years? How do you see it?
It's an interesting question. Thank you. Yeah, we have huge plans. Despite of this COVID-19 that made huge changes to our plans, but we intend to expand new markets, and the market of Canada is included.
Thank you, thank you. And what was your cooperation with CUTIS project? Does it help you to improve your opportunities and your possibilities in this direction on North American market?
Yeah, it helped us to understand the market, the new market in the possibilities to enter this market and what is the main challenges for us. So it helps us much to understand this market because it's different from another ones, different from European market as we used to work with mostly with European markets, but the Canada market is another one.
And what are those challenges you face in the development of your country here in this market?
I'd like to say that maybe in this year the most challenges, unfortunately, COVID-19 that made big changes for us and just to change our plans. It involves to some of orders that we expected. But I hope for the future and for next year, the situation will change, and we hope to increase the capacity of exported products.
Sounds good. And is OLTEKS you can consider as a flexible company, and how does it appear?
It's an interesting question. I think yes, because due to all the circumstances that we connected with, we think that we are rather flexible. We are outerwear manufacturer, but for the last few months, we started to produce masks, protective masks, and also personal protective clothes for medicine, because this product is needs on the market, have a needs on the market.
Larisa, I have a couple of questions. So your product quality looks great, and
thank you.
You know, so what, as a brand in Canada, US, or Europe, what is, you know, what are your requirements? A tech package? Do you have design capabilities, or do you want the brand to give you the designs to develop samples?
We have our own design department, and we can develop design and make patterns and make patterns gradation by ourselves. But if some company have their own design and patterns, we also can accept it. So we can make both ways as we do it with many companies.
And do you have any challenges with bringing in fabrics from Italy or from China, or do you get local fabrics?
We have our local supplier with whom we work for many years, and also we have a possibility, and we have such experience to buy a fabric from Italy and from Europe and all over the world. Also, we buy raw materials and, for example, fleece fabric. There are some kinds of fabrics that are not produced in Europe and in Ukraine, so we need to purchase it from China, for example, and it's not a problem for us.
And lastly, for a client like Marks and Spencer or for a brand to choose Ukraine, tell me, like, what would you say are the 2 or 3 most important reasons where you are a better resource than going to another country?
I'd like to say that one of our strong points is quality, geographic position, because it's close to Europe, for example, and if it's a Canadian market, so we have a free trade agreement, and we have here some advantage in the tax. And our customers, so our customer have advantage in price. And also, I'd like to say that this logistic issue is better than with China, because China is much more bigger lead time and much more time for delivery.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Great, Larisa. Thank you. Thank you very
Okay,
much
thank
for
you
your
for
presentation.
attention.
Please
Thank
don't
you
forget
very
to stop sharing your screen, just to let the floor to the next presenter. Thank you. And stay with us for the end of the panel, because you may get another questions from the audience. And I would like to present our next panelist and speaker, who presented another famous Ukrainian lingerie producer that promotes its own luxury lingerie brand, and she's with us today. The company named TPP LTD Universal, and I would like to invite to speak the senior sales manager of the company, Pani Tetyana Kravchuk. Pani Tetyana, the mic is yours, please. Pani Tetyana, do you hear us? It seems like we have some technical issues. Pani Tetyana? Hello, hello.
I believe she may have had to drop off. Let's see if she comes back.
Mm-hmm.
In the interim, Olga, maybe we can talk a little bit about, first of all, we want to make sure that all of the attendees know that you can ask questions in the Q&A section. You can just type your question in there and we'll try to address it at the end of the panel. And between now and then, just think about, the capabilities of the manufacturers and sourcing partners in Ukraine and what the value that they bring. We have the ability to work towards showcasing factories as well as designers for distribution in North America. So I think as we think about how the value that we bring from international, we have to think about how do we market that value in the US. Tetyana, are you back? You can take yourself off mute.
Hello, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Sorry, the internet connection is not stable today. It's like, and when I just started my words, everything just shut down. I'm really sorry for that, but I can do nothing with that. So my name is Tetyana, and today I'm presenting my company, TPP LTD Universal, and our lingerie brand, Azure. I want to thank you, CUTIS project, for this great opportunity to present our company and our brands, and to tell you shortly, briefly about who we are and what we do. Today I will share a short presentation and a small video to show you our products. Let me share my screen to show you the presentation for Azure. So you can see as well our products, and a few words about our company and the brand, how it was launched and how it started. So the company itself started in 1997 as import-export company by the married couple, Vitaly and Tetyana. And in 2004, they decided to launch the lingerie brand in Ukraine and to manufacturing facilities in Ukraine. They decided to manufacture Ukrainian high-end lingerie brand and named it Azure to be focused on peculiarities of Ukrainian women bodies. It was not an accident that they decided to manufacture it and to launch it. The decision was based on the detailed analysis of the market and its potential. At that time, Ukraine didn't have high-end lingerie brand, and famous brands like from all the world, they were not in a hurry to open their stores in Ukraine. Together with the creation of our brand and opening manufacturing facilities in Ukraine, we decided to launch our mono-brand boutiques, Azure. Since that time, so since 2004, we grew to 30 branded stores Azure in Ukraine and few distributors worldwide. So we have official distributors in Russia, in United Arab Emirates, and in the United States. Today, lingerie brand Azure can be bought in more than 100 high-end boutiques in the United States, as well as online. Our brand competes with world's well-known brands, along with and occupies a niche of the luxury lingerie segment. So Azure is special about the fit, the luxury, and the price. Also, I would like to mention that in 2012, we started to expand to North American market. We decided to go out of only Ukrainian market and to conquer some other markets, not only Russian market, because these markets, they are more, I would say, like home markets for us. So from 2012, we started participating in international shows. The first show was for us the Curve Expo in New York and in Vegas. And in 2014, we managed to open our distribution office in New York, and it's still working. So for the last 6 years, we went deep into North American lingerie market. We did a great job in the research and development. Also, when entering the market, we faced some problems and we solved them. And now we have the recognition, not only in Ukraine, but we have the recognition of the brand recognition, I mean, in United States. After the Azure brand was settled, and we decided that we can create something better, something new, and something different. So we decided to launch a teenage lingerie brand, and we called it Apparel. So Apparel is a new intimate apparel brand by Azure. It's only 2 years now. It was inspired and created for young and active girls who long to feel comfy, trendy in their everyday life. And so the colors for the bretelle, they are more juicy, they are more I wouldn't say sophisticated, they are more like extravagant, and but the fit and the size range, they differ from Azure. So bretelle combines exceptional quality and allows young girls to match their extravagant imagination about the clothes and what they want to feel and what they want to wear for everyday life. So our manufacturing facilities are based in Ukraine, in the western part of Ukraine, and we can say that we occupy a lot of and we can say that we occupy this niche. So we cover the niche for the lingerie manufacturing. For us, production is a very delicate and complex process that requires perfect coordination of all parts, from supplying materials, from ordering materials, from cutting, sewing, and from creating patterns. So all the facilities are based together. Basically, designers, managers, all the headquarters are based in one place, in one city. So when the designer has the idea and when the designer wants to implement that idea, he doesn't need to call somewhere or to send the file. They just go to manufacturing and they show the patterns that need to be processed. So this is the process. This fact makes process easier, because it's always easier for the designer to see the fabrics, to go to the manufacturing and to see if the process goes smoothly, and to anytime the board of the directors, the manager who works with, for example, like with selling or ordering, and who has the opportunity to go into the factory and to take one of the manufacturing samples, to pick it and to try it on, to check the quality. So this is how it works for us. We are doing our best to check the quality, and so the quality goes together with the fit and the picture you can see. The company maintains high standards of quality and cares about the environment. So all collections are sewn on world-class machinery from OLTEKS certified materials. And we source materials from all over the world. So we source from we source a lot from Europe, from France, from Germany, from Italy, Spain. We source from Hong Kong, and we source from China and from Japan. For the last years, we faced some challenges with shipping from China, or even we faced some challenges with shipping from Europe. So we had to switch to Hong Kong and Japan suppliers, and we are satisfied with that. So basically, Azure is not only the lingerie brand. This is the trademark that covers also like the fashion, swimwear, and loungewear. While manufacturing lingerie, we discovered that Ukrainian women, and together with that, the world market demands to have under one brand also the swimwear and underwear. Our mono-brand boutiques, when the customers come into boutique, they want to buy everything they would like to have from one brand, and not to visit a lot of stores. So that was one of the ideas of creating other products from Azure. And due to the latest worldwide situation, we also manufacture face masks, like protective face masks and protective overalls. Basically, in Azure, we manufacture 2 lingerie collections a year. That's spring-summer collection and fall-winter collection. We manufacture 1 swimwear collection a year and 1 loungewear collection a year. A part of our lingerie swimwear collections, they are complemented with seductive lingerie and wedding lingerie. So with Azure, you can have the full sort of different lingerie for every taste and every size. Our size range grew from A to GHI cups, and our band goes from 30 band goes to 44 band, and this is one of the most important facts when entering to international markets. We offer great size range. Great difference for Azure is that we offer over 25 types of bras, and that counts around like 47 sizes, and 7 sizes of bottoms, and around like 7 styles of bottoms that we can offer. So when the woman goes into Azure store, or when the woman goes to any multi-brand store where Azure is, she can always find the fit, the cut she would like to wear, and that will be perfectly fitted on her.
Tetyana, I think we have a short amount of time left,
Okay.
and I want you to be able to answer just a few things about your brand, and allow Olga to wrap up. But I think, first of all, I wanted to say that I saw the brand at Curve a couple of years ago, and I also saw the brand at the swimwear show. So just briefly, if you could give me an idea, what's been your biggest challenge to break into the international market as for distribution?
It was really challenging for us for the first year or two to conquer the US market. First of all, we faced the fact that the US customers, they do not trust aliens in their stores and in their market. It doesn't really matter how good you are, how refined you are, and exquisite your brand is. For them to buy your product, they have to trust you. They have to be sure that you won't disappear from the shelves and the next day, and they want to make sure that they can buy the replenishment the next season. And also, like, if we are talking about the wholesale, it should be like US based company, because all these payments systems, they are absolutely different for Ukraine and for the US market. Because like for Ukraine, we have the wire transfers and like the online banking. This is the easiest way. You can also pay cash. But for the US market, it's nobody likes to use the banking. They use the checks or PayPal. That was the other challenge for us, like because this is the essential part of the business. You can have the perfect product, but if you don't have like all these managing systems for the payments and for the reliability for the brand, they won't take you into the country. They won't take you to their heart. So, and the other thing was challenging for us was the size range and the fit for US market. It's different. And we had to make our cups deeper, the size bigger, and we even created few cuts, especially for the US market. And like after we conquered all that spheres, so we started the US market, and now we can say that we are satisfied and US customers love Azure.
Great, great. So on that note, Olga, I'll have you say the last word. I just wanted to thank everyone. And I think, Tetyana, your point is having a local partner and understanding the local market is most important. And I thank all of the panelists for giving us an insight on the ability and the opportunities of doing business in Ukraine, the brands coming out of Ukraine, as well as the manufacturing capabilities coming out of Ukraine are great. I think the work, Olga, you're coordinating to highlight this is exceptional and needed. And thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Just a quick reminder for all of our attendees to go ahead and check out the exhibition hall. The link is down at the bottom of your screen there. And again, thank you to all of our panelists. We will have our next presenter, Larisa Ter-Minasyan, presenting here at the top of the hour at 11 o'clock Eastern in 5 minutes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.